We are rolling. We are rolling. We are rolling.
What's goody?
What's good, everybody?
Welcome to another Honest Review. I'm Big Diesel.
And I'm the coach of all coaches.
Welcome to Flick Filter. We're going to do this real quick. It's been a long day.
Yeah.
So we're talking about Spider-Man, the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man TV show on Disney Plus.
Yep. Friendly Neighborhood Spiderling, Spider Boy.
But which was first going to be first freshman class or first
Yeah, Spider-Man freshman year was the
freshman
initial
year,
title. I think it was. I don't know if it was going to be in the same
I think
universe
so.
as
It
Tom
was.
Holland's. Okay.
It was.
Okay.
Yeah. It was going to be that, like, what happened before.
Gotcha.
But
this is a new, or this is a very different Spider-Man, like totally different universe.
Yes. And basically, instead of Iron Man, it's Norman Osborn.
Who is the kind of mentor character.
Mentor character, yes. And yeah, basically it tells him his origin story, how he got the bite. Not what happened to Ben, but I'm sure they're gonna dive that in multiple seasons if this does well. Yeah. So what did first? It's like Steve Ditko animated, like it was like the comics.
Out of the old comics, yeah.
Yeah. Which, in my opinion, I didn't like that animation style.
Yeah.
I would have rather had the Spider-Man 90, 97 or 98 back, but this was probably in production way before X-Men 97 was a thing, and before, it went well.
Yeah. We talked about that. The fact that I think when they had this idea, I mean, it's definitely not the first iteration of this Spider-Man story that they're telling, but I think going off the success of X-Men '97, which people loved, very critically acclaimed, people thought it was one of the best Marvel projects in years.
Which one?
X-Men '97.
Yeah.
So I think based off of that success, if this hadn't already been in production, they probably would have went with the, like you're saying, like with the Spider-Man '97, which was in that same universe, because they even showed.
Spoiler alert for X-Men '97.
Yes. Thank you. See, you caught it. You caught me.
You're about to spoil.
I was. Well, I stopped myself. But if you haven't seen X-Men '97, then I'm not even gonna say it. But I think they should have gone with that version of Spider-Man, and could even tie it into X-Men '97 in a pretty cool way. But we got this story, and we got this show, which honestly isn't it wasn't bad by any means, in my opinion, but I think it's kind of like I don't think anybody was necessarily asking for this, especially while we're still we still have Tom Holland Spider-Man. Of course, we finished his home trilogy, but then now we've also got the Spider-Verse.
What's the new Brand New Day?
Brand New Day. Yes, they did announce that as a title for the next next Tom Holland movie, which will be 2020. That'll be 2026 or 2027. I forget. No, that'll be 2026 because it'll be 2026 because Beyond the Spider-Verse will be 2027.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it'd be kind of crazy if they put both of those out the same year. But it is wild that it'll be 4 years, I think, in between Across the Spider-Verse and Beyond the Spider-Verse. Crazy. We're talking about all this other Spider-Man stuff and not even talking about the show. But
that's you. Speak for yourself. I was in here in silence.
He threw me right under the bus. He threw me through the bus, like Invincible.
Spoilers. Anywho, So basically,
Yeah.
what is going on is I don't know. Even the plot it was just basically he's working under Norman Osborn, trying to just find his footing, pretty much.
Yeah, trying to find his footing. There's these different interconnected stories of you've got Peter and his friend group, different people in his life,
Still got the love interest.
love interest. Got the best friend, a few different friends that I'm not as familiar with. Like I don't know if these are characters from the comics. No, I'm sure actually
They are.
Yeah, they are. Yes, they are. So you've got Peter, his friend group. You've got Peter Osborne. You've got Peter and these villains. Who's the
Scorpion.
Scorpion? There's another one too.
Uh,
Doc Ock, but I thought there was another one that I'm forgetting. But yes, you got these different conflicts going on, and you even got the what's the name of the gang that what's his name gets involved with? Spoiler alert.
it's
The
not.
gang.
It's not spoiler alert. You didn't say who it was.
I know. I was about to say it though.
You keep spoiling.
I did not spoil yet.
Neighborhood spoiler man.
That was funny. Your friendly neighborhood spoiler man. That's funny.
T-shirt.
We could put that. We should make that a T-shirt. We should put that on a T-shirt.
But anywho, yeah, basically just trying to get through high school, I guess.
Yeah, get through high school, get through his little teenage problems and whatnot. I know you didn't necessarily like the animation style. I wasn't like the biggest fan of it, but it wasn't like, oh, I hated it. It was for me. I guess I'm more concerned about the storyline. I think the thing I had was like it took me a while to get into the story, and I did think there were parts that were cool, but it was like I felt like it was so much of like a high school drama, which I do like because I even going back to Tom Holland's Spider-Man trilogy, especially like the first one with Homecoming. I like that one so much because it was just like it felt like just a coming of age story.
Yeah, yeah. It did.
But I feel like it moved a lot quicker than this, and of course with the TV show, you're gonna have all these different storylines and different things you're gonna set up, but it's like I feel like it just didn't need that much. And even when we get to like the end of the season, it's like okay, you've done this table setting, and now you've got these other characters that kind of more establish themselves, and it is interesting, but it's also like, do we even need this for real?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. What are you thinking?
I basically like the characters. Lonnie, who's a football guy who gets, into some trouble. Yeah, he's very likable. Um, Even his dynamic with his girlfriend, who is actually the crush of Peter Parker.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was quite interesting.
Yeah.
Peter and Nico was probably pretty good, and even him and Harry was pretty good. So I am quite, even though I didn't care for it as much as probably you did,
Mm-hmm.
I'm still invested into seeing where this is going, especially with the certain characters.
Yeah. Yeah. Which characters you feel like you're invested in the most?
Lonnie.
Okay. Interesting. I would have said him, but I feel like he also his decision making I just question, especially I mean forgetting I don't know how much we're gonna say. But like there's just certain things that he does where it's like I felt like you didn't need to do that, especially after like how much you've worked so hard in your life to get to this point as an athlete, and then to get involved with the people that you get involved with, it's like I get a feeling of like maybe you felt desperate, but even after a certain point, it's like I feel like you didn't even need to do all that. And maybe I don't know if I'm oversimplifying it, but I don't know. I feel like I want to be invested in his story, but at the same time, I'm just like, bro, you didn't even need to make that decision. But I don't know. What do you think?
He did it for his brother.
I Yeah, I know.
Yeah, did it for his brother. So it's kind of like he was the sacrificial lamb.
Yeah, okay. I think even after that though, I feel like he could have like it felt like afterwards it was like it was like it was no longer that he did it for his brother once he was in it. Now it was like it felt like now he was doing it for himself, and that he just kind of left his
Yeah.
old life behind. It's like no, I still feel like there was a turning back point, but you just kind of went deeper into it where it was like I don't even think that like I felt like they weren't even doing for him what they what he felt like they should be doing for him when he got involved with them. Like I know it was initially the younger brother, but it's like no, I think you at this point you're just not making a wise choice. Like thinking about like why you're still doing this. Like but I know once you're in it, it's like it's easier to say. It's easier when you're looking at it from the outside in, but maybe even from his vantage point, maybe just feel like that's his best option at this point.
Yeah.
Yep.
But how about the villains?
The villains. I feel like, I mean, I'm a Doc Ock fan, of course, but um, I think in this story, I mean, it is a cartoon.
Yeah,
It
he's
is.
very cartoony.
He is very cartoony, and in my part, I think I like, at least in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man, I like the humanity of Doc Ock, like where you can clearly see he had good intentions and his stuff just went wrong. He was a very tragic character. Well, in this one, he just feels very very much like a old cartoon villain that's
Yeah, pretty much.
that gets upset when he gets foiled. And I feel like it could have been it would have been better if they could have played into that in a like clever way, but it was just like uh I don't know. It's just not everything landed for me
Yeah.
with it.
So
So
I agree. I like Scorpion, and even him. He didn't seem he didn't seem like the main bag. He seemed like just a henchman
hmm
at the time, even
yeah.
though he kind of was the main bad
Yeah.
to the very end.
hmm
But like at the end of the day, it was Doc Ock pulling strings. So yeah,
Um yeah. But you said who's pulling the strings?
Doc Ock.
To an extent, yeah, he was. Um how did you feel about uh Osborne?
I feel like it was going that way. Yeah, yeah.
I had to ask about him eventually. Chloe Osborne.
I thought it was cool.
Yeah. How did you feel about, him being played by Homie Domingo?
I don't know a lot about him, so
Well, he's Oscar nominated. I think he was nominated this year. Was he nominated last year as well?
for Sing Sing.
Was it for Sing Sing or was it for something else? He was nominated for Rustin last year. I think it was Sing Sing this year. Yeah, I think it was Sing Sing.
I mean, he did good, I guess.
Yeah.
He did good.
Okay. Do you feel like it was weird they made him black, or they made Osborne black? Not
You had to
really.
say it. You had to say that.
I did.
That we had to go there.
Did we have to? Not necessarily, but we are here.
The coats, everybody. No, it didn't bother me.
Okay.
I don't care about
All right. He doesn't care about race, people. Does not care about your race.
He's a menace. He's a menace.
Oh man. Yeah, I thought it was cool. I think he did it. I think Coleman Domingo did a great job.
I just thought
Exactly.
Harry Osborn looked kind of stupid.
Yeah.
It wasn't even about him being black. I just didn't like his aesthetic.
Aesthetic. Yeah. I was like, it's weird. If I didn't know that was Harry, I wouldn't have known that was Harry. If that makes sense.
It does make sense.
Like, he just seemed like some random dude that happened to be the son of Osborne. Um, but yeah, he was cool. It was different. I guess a different take on the character.
I think I'm just invested into, okay, they're this type,
Mm-hmm.
but we know them as other types.
Yeah.
So let's see where this goes.
Right. Yeah, it is interesting to see where
Because eventually we're going to have to get to some goblins.
some goblins.
Some goblins.
How do you feel about? Well, we are kind of getting to some other stuff. Strange. I know he kind of appeared a little bit.
It was strange that Strange was in here.
Yeah. But then it was kind of like a full circle moment without giving that whole part
It was.
away.
It was. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that was.
It was a
that was pretty cool.
self-fulfilling prophecy.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Something like that.
But yeah, all in all, I think it was cool. I give it, I give it a 3 out of 5.
I was gonna give it a 3. See, you copied me.
But I said it first.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't rate TV shows as much because it's like it's rare when we're actually able to watch the same show at the same time.
Yeah.
But we are trying to get into more things. I know Daredevil, Born Again just finished.
Yeah, that's what we'll probably get into next once we get into it.
Hopefully, we got The Last of Us is out. Well, at least the first episode is out. Season 2. Yeah, we got some things on the horizon.
On the burner. Yeah.
So, yeah, there's some other characters that do make some appearances in the show. We don't have to name everything.
No.
But do you feel like it's worth the time for people to check out? Like,
It felt like a kid's show.
okay, yeah,
So I didn't feel very invested into it.
yeah,
Even though there's a lot of kid cartoons are made for kids, but there are some that are very even Spider-Man and X-Men '97. It still had some adult themes
yeah,
to where kids could watch it.
yeah,
Because Christianity was used well in X-Men '97 as
it
well.
was,
Yeah.
it was,
So it kind of deals with that kind of stuff, and I just felt this was very kiddie, and I couldn't really relate. I wasn't really invested, and I wanted to like it, but yeah, I just wasn't very fond of this
gotcha,
show.
yeah.
I'm trying not to pick it apart, but
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Just wanted to get, honest thoughts, yeah. I hope I'm not sure if they will be making another season. They definitely set it up for that, they've got some future plans. But
I just don't think they need it.
yeah, to me it didn't seem like it was needed. It seemed like
It didn't seem like nobody was really talking about it. I haven't heard anybody talk about it. In just conversational wise.
Yeah. It is definitely a aspect of who is this show for?
Yeah.
Is this for, the kids, the 10, 11, 12-year-olds, the 8, 9, 10-year-olds who are just getting into Spider-Man, the ones who may have already seen some of the Tom Holland movies, is it for the teenagers or young adults? Like, I feel like it is more kind of what you were saying, more for the younger audience. But um, I think for people that are older who are a lot more familiar with Spider-Man, we're probably thinking about all the other iterations, and then you're kind of going back to this one where it's like a very elementary
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man in the sense of like, he's just figuring things out. We've seen that version so many different times at this point. We're in we're in Spider-Verse territory where we got hundreds of different Spider-Man. So I feel like it was also an issue of timing, where if this maybe have come out in a few years, maybe it would have been better received, and people would have wanted it more while if we hadn't had Spider-Man in a while. So I do think the timing probably played into it as well. So
Yeah.
but yeah, that's our thoughts on.
Our initial thoughts. Let us know if you've seen it and what you think about it. Put it in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe, do all that stuff, all that good stuff. And see you in the next ones.
Yep. See y'all next time.
All right, later.
Deuces.